Good day, everyone. This is International Aptitude in Mathematics 3 or SAT Math 3 class. For this school year, you will be learning for the first term equations, solving simple equations, equations involving fractions and decimal coefficients, and problem solving with equations. Also for midterm, you will have systems of equation that includes substitution and elimination method, systems with no solution and infinite solution, problems, word problems, and graphs of system of equations. And then for the finals of the first term, you will have inequalities, solving inequalities, inequalities word problem, graphs of inequalities, and system of inequalities. For the second term, you will have absolute value equations, absolute value inequalities, and absolute value problems. And for the second term finals, you will have statistics. That includes measures of central tendencies, group and ungroup data, dispersion and variation. Then you will have word problems involving average. Now let's start with our lesson. Equations. What are equations? An equation is a mathematical sentence with an equal sign. So any algebraic expression that has an equal sign is an equation. Writing equations. Writing equation is actually translating a word sentence into an equation by choosing variable to represent one of the unspecified number of measures in the sentence. This is actually called defining a variable. Then use the variable to write equations for the unspecified number. Let's have some examples here. Number 1. Translate each sentence into an equation. Letter A. Twice a number increased by 14 is identical to 50. Now we have a word here, twice, increased by, and identical to. So these are our keywords so that we will be able to know what to do with these words or what are the symbols for these words. Our solution. So you'll have twice the number. So let x be the number. Twice the number, that is 2x, and increase by means you are actually adding 14. You'll just write the word number 14, and is identical to, that means is equal to, and then 50. So your final answer is 2x plus 14 equals 50. Another example. Half the sum of 7 and a number is the same as the number decreased by 2. You have here the word sum, which is the result when you add numbers, and the same as means they are equal, and decrease by 2 means you subtract by 2. So let's have our solution. Let n be the number so that you write half. Half is just 1 over 2. the sum of 7 and a number. Our number is n, so that will be 7 plus n is the same as, is equal to, and then the number, that's your n, decreased by 2, so minus 2. Therefore, our answer will be 1/2 the quantity of 7 plus n is equal to n minus 2. Another example. The quotient of m and n equals 4 more than 1/3 of the sum of m and n. Quotient is a result when you divide two numbers. Sum, as what I've said earlier, is the result when you add. So our solution for that, we don't need to let any variable here because we already have m and n as our variable. So the quotient of m and n, that is just m over n, equals, so you use the equal sign here, 4 more, that means you are adding 4, 1/3 more than 1/3. When you say more, you are adding, and then 1/3 the sum, so 1/3 the sum of m and n. So our answer would be m over n is equal to 4 plus 1/3 the quantity of m and n. Another example. The cube of x plus square of y is equal to 52. Solution. When you say cube of x, that is just writing x to the third power, or x cubed, plus, use the symbol, square of y. That means you have y to the second power, or y squared, is equal to 52. So your equation would be x cubed plus y squared is equal to 52. Then we have another number here, consecutive numbers. What are consecutive numbers? Numbers that is written one after the other. It's like counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Those are consecutive numbers. So example of consecutive numbers, you have consecutive integers. You have -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. The 3 dots here means that you are going to negative infinity. These other 3 dots here, you are going to infinity. So 3 consecutive integers if n is an integer. So our answer would be, the first number is n, the second number is n plus 1, and the third number is n plus 2. What if you have consecutive even numbers? Even numbers are numbers that are divisible by 2. So you have -6, and from negative infinity, -6, -4, -2, 0, 2, 4, 6 to infinity. So you can write that 3 consecutive even integers if n is an even integer. So you will have n for our first number. Then, since n is even, adding 2 to it is equal to an even number as well. So you'll have n plus 2 is the second integer, and then n plus 4 is our third integer. The next one, you have consecutive odd integers. -5, -3, -1, 1, 3, 5. Odd means numbers that can't be divided by 2. So you'll have, what if you have 3 consecutive odd integers if n is an odd integer? So you'll have the first number is n plus 2 is our second integer, and then n plus 4 is our third integer. Example 2. Write an equation to represent the given relationship between integers. So you have the sum of 4 consecutive integers is 54. Sum of 4 consecutive integers, so you will have, let n be the first integer, then you will have n plus 1 plus n plus 2 plus n plus 3 is equal to 54. So this is now our equation. Another example. Write an equation to represent the given relationship between integers and solve it. The sum of 3 consecutive odd integers is 693. So for your solution, you will have to let n be the first integer, then n plus 2 plus n plus 4 is equal to 693. Simplify further, you will have 3n plus 6, because you are adding all the n's here. So you'll have 3n. 2 plus 4 gives you 6 is equal to 693, sorry. And then simplify further, you will have 3n is equal to 687. Why 687? You have to move 6 to the other side, subtract 6 to both sides, or subtract 6 to both sides of your equation. So that makes it 3n is equal to 687. So your n is equal to 229. Now, since you are looking for the 3 consecutive odd integers, then you will have 229, 231, and 233. Now, we have here some exercises. Write the following equations and solve. You can print this or you can write this on your notebook and answer it. And this is 10 points. You may submit your answer to me on July 1 when you come to school. Thank you for listening and see you in our next online class.